Hello everybody, expecting that all of you are in good health and very well at your home. Now today we will start our session on supply analysis. I am Dr. Dhananjoy and in supply analysis today we will discuss first a definition of supply, then law of supply, supply schedule, supply card, supply function, determinants of supply. Now, determinants of supply are also the factor influencing supply. Then we'll discuss movement and shift in supply curve. So these are the today's topic of discussion in this session. Now, based on this topic, there are some question answer will address throughout this session. Like what is supply, or what do you understand by supply? Then next, what is the law of supply? Discuss with supply schedule and supply curve. I repeat, what do you understand by law of supply? Discuss with supply schedule and supply curve. Then discuss supply function. Then explain the different determinants of supply. Now here another question, like discuss the factors influencing supply. These are same, determinants of supply and factor influencing supply, same. Then next and last we'll discuss movement and shift in supply curve. Okay, so question may come that discuss movement and shift in supply curve, or explain the movement and shift along the supply curve. Okay, so these are the some question answer we are going to address throughout this session. First, we'll discuss the definition of supply. Now, supply is a fundamental economic concept that describes the total amount of a specific good or service that is available to consumer at market price. So what I am telling, that is written also on the slide. Supply is a fundamental economic concept, basic economic concept, which described or which state that the total amount of a specific particular goods or service that is available to the consumer at market price. That means the total amount of goods available in the market in a market price for consumption purpose or for purchase purpose can be considered as supply of a particular good or service. Now we'll come to the law of supply. The law of supply states that producers or firms supply more of a product at higher price than at a lower price. Now what I said, I'm going to explain it for demand. But here, when price increase, supply of a product will increase in the market. When price decrease, supply of the product will decrease. This is basically the law of supply. Now further in this regard, like other factors, we are assuming constant. Now when we are assuming that other factors are constant, then at higher price, producers or firms will supply more, and at lower price, producers and firms will supply less. So this how is happening, we'll discuss with the with the supply schedule and supply curve. Next we are going to discuss. Now see, in the law of supply, simply you will keep in mind that producers or the farms will supply more quantity of a good or service at higher price, and supply will be reduced when price will be coming down, or producer will supply less quantity of product or service at lower price. Now, same thing we are going through the supply schedule. Now, in the supply schedule, we have taken example of milk bar. Okay, milk bar. You know, we have considered it as a box. You know, per box. Now here you see price per box are given. Price per box like 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. And the quantity supplied, it is given in millions of box per year. We have assumed that millions of box are being produced by the producers at this given price. Okay, now when the price of the milk bars per box is 50, quantity supplied is 18 million per year. Then when price coming down, assuming that it is 40 per box, so it is the quantity supplied is coming down to 16. Then when price per box are coming down to 30 box, you know, 12 million of milk bar are produced in a particular year with the rupees 30. Then when the price are coming down to 20, only 7 millions of milk bar are produced in a particular year. Now the interesting thing is that when price is coming down to 10, the quantity supplied is 0. So what does it mean? That means that at rupees 10, no producer, no farm owners are interested to produce the milk bar. At rupees 10 per box, producers are not interested to produce milk bar. That's why the quantity supplied is 0. Now, if we go reverse means if we start again from 10, then we think that price is increasing. So price is increasing, quantity supplied also increasing. Now, when the price increase from 10 to 20, price increasing from 10 per box to 20 per box, quantity supplied increase. Okay, from 0 to 7 million per year. Then when it is coming to 30, quantity supplied increase to 12. Then when it is increasing to 40, it is quantity supplied increasing to 16 million per year. Then finally, when we are assuming that price per box is 50, the quantity supplied is coming to 18 millions per year. Okay, now see, from this we can say that producers are ready to produce more at higher price, and when price is less, quantity supplied are also less. This is basically the law of supply says. Now, why these things happens? Because at the higher price, producers are able to earn more profit. Their profit margin is high, or they can earn more profit. With this assumption, producers are ready to produce more at higher price and less at lower price. Now, same thing will go through the supply curve. Now, if we talk about the supply curve, we'll use the same example of the milk bar. Now here, y-axis represent the price of milk bars. per box. That is 10, 20, 30, 40 as it was shown in the supply schedule. So y-axis represent the price of milk bars per box. Then x-axis represent the quantity of milk bars. Quantity of milk bars. Okay, this is million of box per year. Now here, when the price was 10, quantity supply was 0. See 0, it is starting with the 0. So at price 10, it is 0. You can see the cursor. Now when price increased to 20, the quantity supplied increased to 7 million box per year. Okay, so we can draw a line like this, 7 million. Then when price came to 30, okay, when price increased to 30 per box, that time supply came to 12. Then when price increased to 40 per box, then it came to 16 millions of box per year. This is the point. Okay, 16 million of box per year. All of you can notice the movement of the cursor. Then when price increased to 50 per box, that time it was 18 million of box per year. 18 millions. Okay, just before the 20. Okay, 20, just before the 20, you see 18 millions of milk bar box per year. So this is basically the supply curve, and through this also we have discussed that when price increase, quantity supply also increases. Next we'll move to the supply function. Now we'll see that what the supply function says. Now supply function indicates that here there is a formula like Sx. First we'll go through this. Sx means the amount of supply of goods X. Okay, amount of supply of good X. Then equal to F. F is the function. Then Px. Px is the price of good X. Px is the price of good X. Then Py, Pz. Py, Pz, price of the other goods in the market. Price of the other goods in the market means price of the related goods. Okay, or substitute goods or complementary goods in the market. Then PF. PF, price of the factor of production required to produce the good X. PF is the price of the factor of production requires to produce the good X. Now factor of production, there are 4 factors: land, labor, capital, and enterprise. These are the 4 factors. Now to produce the good X we are assuming any goods. Okay, what factors are required? That need to be considered. Then T represent the state of technology. The state of technology used by the producer to produce the good X. State of technology used by the producer to produce the good X. What technology the producer are adapting, or the what mode of technology producer are having to produce that particular good X. Like bank to deliver the better service, bank have adopted the ATM technology. So through ATM, banks are able to deliver more service than earlier. Okay, now see, this is basically the supply function. How basically supply function. Next we'll discuss the determinants of the supply or factors influencing the supply. What I said, determinants of supply or factors influencing the supply. These are both same. Okay, in the determinants of supply, what basically determine the supply of the good? Then what factors influences the supply of a good? This will go through now. Now first, determinants are the price of goods, or the first factors influencing the supply is the price of good. Now price of good, like say from the law of supply, what we have came to know that when price increase, supply increase. So if the price of a particular good increase, then the supply will increase. So price of the good is a factor which influence the supply of that particular good, or price of the goods is the determinants of a supply for a particular good. Then price of other goods. Price of other goods means like price of the related goods, price of the substitute goods, or price of the complementary goods. Okay, now price of the related goods, here we will go through one example. Like say we know ceiling fan and the pedestal fan and stand fan we are commonly known as. Okay, now if the price of the ceiling fan increases, okay, what will happen? Producer may earn more profit as the price of the ceiling fan increases. So with this assumption, producers may start producing more of the ceiling fan rather than the pedestal fan. Okay, as producer have found the prices of the ceiling fan is in the market is increasing. Okay, so with this, producer may start producing more of the ceiling fan rather than the stand fan or pedestal fan. Okay, so this how affects the how the related goods or substitute goods influences the supply of a good or determine the supply of a good. Then price of the factors of production. Now in the price of the factors of production, just few minutes back I have said that there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Now out of these 4 factors of production, like if we assume that the labor price have increased, okay, labor price have increased. So as the labor price have increased, now producer will face problem because their production cost will increase. Okay, or in the factor of production, if any company adopt a modern technology, advanced technology, and due to that their production cost came down. Okay, so they will be encouraged to produce more. But in the case of labor intensive technology, where companies is running their business through labor force, labor employment is maximum level. So in that case, if the price of the labor increases, producer will be discouraged to produce more. So price of the factor of production is another factor which influence the supply. Then state of technology. State of technology, like how companies are adopting the advanced technologies. Technologies are being introduced in the market by innovators. Innovators means like one company do innovations, okay, and that same kind of innovations are being adopted by many other companies. So in this process, when companies are adopting advanced technologies, they can produce more with the less cost. So that is another factor which basically affect the supply. Then climate change. Climate change, like if we consider the agricultural commodity. Okay, so if due to the rainy season, agri crops are being damaged, so supply will be less. Okay, then change in the government policies. Change in the government policies. Here I will go through the one specific example. Government, develop time to time different policies which encourage the production process. But if government policies may also discourage the production, like if government increases tax on goods, okay, then producer will face problem and they may not produce more. So these are the some determinants of the supply, or the factors influencing the supply. Next, we'll go through the movement and shift in supply curve, or shift and movement along the supply curve. What I said, I repeat, movement and shift in supply curve, or shift and movement along the supply curve. This we will understand now. Now, from the law of supply, what we came to know that when price increase or at higher price, producer will supply more, and at lower price, producer will supply less. Okay, now through this principle, we'll understand the movement and shift in the demand curve. Movement in the supply curve takes place when there is a ups or down in the product supply or good supply due to the rise and fall in the price. What I said, I am repeating again. Movement in the supply curve refers to the process when there is a increase or decrease in the supply due to the rise or fall in the supply, rise and fall in the price, rise and fall in the price. Okay, like if price increase, supply may increase. If price falls, supply will be less. Okay, so this part is known as movement in supply curve. And now I am going to discuss the shift in the supply curve. Now we have discussed factors. Okay, now supply if increase or decrease due to the one or more factor affecting the supply is known as the shift of the supply curve or shift of the supply. What I said, like other factors if affect the supply, okay, and due to that if supply increase decrease, that is basically shift in the supply curve. Like I said about the climate change. Climate change, due to the rainy season, agri crops are being damaged. So for that particular year or season, agri production may get hampered, and obviously supply may also get hampered. So supply will be less. Okay, so these things we are going to understand through this movement and shift in the supply curve. Now first we'll start with the y-axis. Y-axis represent the price of good, X. Y-axis represent the price of good, X. Then x-axis represent the unit. of goods. Units of goods means quantity of goods. Okay, and that will be shift and change in supply also. How shift and change in the supply is happening, that also we will study from these. Okay, and y x-axis will indicate these also. Now, if we consider PO, PO is the original price. Now, with the PO price, quantity supplied was, OQO. This was the supply with the PO price. Okay, OQO. This was the original supply of the goods. Now we are assuming that supply have increased to, see, SO. This is the original supply card with PO price. With PO price, this SO is the original supply card, and supply quantity was OQO, this point. Now we are assuming that supply have increased. Supply have increased, that is indicated by S1 supply card, this card, S1 supply card. So with the same price, quantity supplied increased by OQO. Okay, this part, OQO supply have increased. Okay, at this given price, OQO up to this increase. Now this is also known as the expansion of the supply card. What I said, this is also known as expansion of the supply card. As supply have increased, supply curve have expanded. Now, at the same price, if supply decrease, now we are assuming that producer have decreased the supply. Okay, now when producer decrease the supply, decreased supply curve is represented by S2 and S2. This is basically the decreased supply curve. Okay, supply have decreased. So at the given price PO, the quantity supplied will be OQO. This one. Okay. Now, this is basically known as the contraction of the supply curve. Contraction. As supply is getting reduced, okay, and it is known as the contraction of the supply curve. Now, if we think that price have increased to P1. Now with this increased price, like OQ1, this will be the quantity supplied with the increased price. Okay, then if we assume that price have decreased from PO, price decreased to P2. So when price decrease, quantity supplied will be OQ2. This one, OQ2. Okay, P2 price and quantity supplied will be OQ2 if the price decrease. Now another interesting thing, like here you can see upward movement arrow, downward movement arrow. From this point to, upward movement, and from this point to downward movement. Okay, so this is basically the movement in the supply curve. Movement in the supply curve, and this is basically the shift in the supply curve. Now we need to remember that that I have said earlier also, just I am repeating again. Movement in the supply curve takes place when there is a increase or decrease in the supply due to the increase or decrease in the price of the good, and shift in the supply curve takes place when supply is affected by other factors. Okay, so these we need to remember, and these we have discussed throughout this, movement and shift in the supply curve. Now, in this today's session, we will not discuss more, but again I will go through the summary of the session. So in today's session, we have discussed concept of the supply, law of supply, supply schedule, supply curve, supply function, determinants of supply, then movement and shift in the supply curve. Now, based on this topic, we have addressed answer of the some question, and those questions were like, what do you understand by supply? What is law of supply? Explain with supply schedule and supply curve. Then briefly discuss the supply function. Then discuss the determinants of supply, or explain the factor influencing supply. Then we have discussed, like we have discussed the answer of the question, discuss movement and shift in supply curve. Discuss movement and shift in supply curve, or explain movement and shift along the supply curve. Okay, so these we have